After a nice night's sleep, we are now exploring Melbourne, and the first thing to see is the Royal Exhibition building here in front of us. We've just been into the Melbourne Museum behind it, and we're at the Carlton Gardens at the moment, which is this very nice garden behind us. And we're now just be walking into central Melbourne in front of us there, and having a walk around in there, and then onto the Botanical Gardens on the other side of it. And here we are in Parliament Square Gardens. Parliament itself is just behind the trees there, very hard to see. But the garden's very pretty, and there's a cathedral behind it. And this very interesting water feature in the foreground. Looks a bit damp to go inside it. But yeah, very nice, and the sun has come out. Just a little bit unfortunate though, because neither Juliet or I have brought sunglasses with us today. This building across from us is the Parliament building, so that's the Parliament of the State of Victoria. And just in front of us here is the tram line, and you might see one of the trams over there, so they go around the city centre of Melbourne. And now we're going to be wandering into the city itself to go look at some of the older buildings in the town. We've just stumbled across Melbourne's famous Chinatown. We're going to be just skirting round the town now and just going round to some of the older buildings, some of the museums and old jails and so on. So when we get to them, we'll get back to you. So we are now in the Dome Room in the State Library of Victoria. Very impressive library. And we're just going to have a nice look around here before we head to a tower where they made bullets. Juliet and I are in a shopping centre in the middle of Melbourne now, but we're here to look at this shot tower in front of us, which is a large tower that people dropped molten metal down from the top to the bottom, and it formed shot for guns. Very impressive building, and very interesting how it's been preserved. We are now here on Hosier Lane, which is famous for its graffiti, but as you can see, we're not the first people to come here, and it's a bit touristy now. So we're just gonna have a look at this DJing frog and then shuffle on our way before anyone notices we're here. We are now at Federation Square, which is sort of a, I don't know, bar-y sort of square here in the centre of town. Not entirely sure why it's in the guidebook, but it is. And just across from it is Flinders Street Station, which is just an old station here in the heart of Melbourne. The next stop for us is going to be across the river, which is just over there, and we're going to be going to the gardens on the other side. Juliet and I just wandering through Botanic Gardens, and we've come across the Halls of Remembrance here. You might be able to see the Eternal Flame off on the right hand side, and it's a very nice structure. If I just spin around a little bit, you'll be able to see back down towards Melbourne with some of the tall buildings in the distance. This is pretty much it for us today. We're near where we're staying now. Tomorrow we're going to be heading down to St Kilda, where there's a bit of a beach, and then in the evening we've got the T20 Cricket final to go to. And here's one last view from the tops of the steps here at the Hall of Remembrance out across the city of Melbourne. And a very pretty view it is. Juliet and I have got up this morning and walked down to St Kilda, which is an area of Melbourne, sort of south of the city. And here we have another lunar park, similar to the one we saw in Sydney. And we're now going to be walking down to the beach, which is just down this road here. Juliet and I are just walking down the beach here at St Kilda now. And it's very nice. It's a bit warm actually, the sun has come out. But yeah, very nice. We're just heading over to that pier in the distance now. And then we're going to go find a bakery and have some nice lunch. And then later on today we have the cricket. Juliet and I are now on the famous St Kilda Pier, and you've got good views out towards the sea. And if I spin round, you've got some very nice views of Melbourne in the distance. Next stop for us is a bakery. Here we are at the Cricket World Cup final, and we have Katy Perry down there introing the whole thing. It's been a good start to the cricket here for Australia. They got 184. It's now India's turn to try and return that, but they're doing very poorly. Only got 30 so far, and they're nearly halfway through. But we'll see what happens in the next half hour or so. So Australia have won. They absolutely smashed India. It wasn't even a competition, but really good to watch. And now we've got to watch the trophy be presented, and then we've got a little bit of a concert by Katy Perry afterwards. Tomorrow though, we're off to New Zealand, so we'll get back to you in New Zealand.